turn to page 49. Now this is a printout. I think it's in one of those. Take your pen or highlighter and mark what I tell you to mark. Okay? Everybody got a book? Up at the top, the address is 6539 Bird Key Drive. Over to the right, top corner, SP sale price 166. LP is list price 169.9. Back the next column, about halfway down, year built 1999. Subdivision, Morris Point. Semi-tax 716. Inside the box. Square footage on the main 1664. Right below the box. Garage, that whole thing, fireplace. Inside the box is the bedrooms and baths. Always read the property description. Is there anything in there that stands out? Ceiling, skylights. This says pond view. Okay, so, I mean, maybe the pond view, I would do something, you know, I'd note that. Come down into the next group down, past, or under the age of remarks, the description. Left-hand column, come down to exterior amenities, driveway, concrete, lot size, 100 by 135. Next column over, exterior is vinyl and brick. Next column, porch, open patio, covered porch. I always look at it, the primary water and the primary sewer. But if I'm in a subdivision, then I'm pretty sure they all got the same thing. But if I'm having to compare one without it. Come down into the contact information, contract information, I'm sorry. Towards the bottom on the right-hand side, seller paid CC, closing costs, 0. Seller paid points, 0. Right beside that, close date, 01/04/17. Okay? That's all I care about this listing. I don't care about their dishwasher, I don't care if the window coverings stay, I don't care. I'm after the big, these are the things I will adjust for, okay? So if I printed all 9 of those things out, the list we had, I'm flying through these printouts with my highlighter, looking for these big items. Well, as I'm going through it, I'm starting to get it. I mean, there's some of them that you think, whoa, this is nothing like it. We'll just get rid of it. Some of them are, this is real close. Okay, this is in the keep file. I'm trying to get it down to 3 or 4 keepers. And then I'm gonna take them, and then I'm gonna start making my adjustments. Okay? Okay, let's go back to page 10. Sorry to make you jump all over the place, but we still haven't figured out how to number these very well. These are appraisal values for all those kinds of items that you were just marking. This is what we're going to adjust for, all right? And, I always have to tell this part of the story. I've been doing this class a long, long time, since like the mid-80s. Guy that did it before me handed me a sheet like this and said, here's the appraisal values. I didn't, okay, so the training director at the time, I said, we ought to check to see if these are still valid. We gave it to an appraiser, the appraiser come back, gave me another one, almost identical to the one I had. A few years later, Amy takes over as the training director. Amy, we need to check these again. It's been about 10 or so years. We check them again, give them to an appraiser. They come back almost identical. 3 years ago now, Amy?
Yep.
3 years ago, we take Mark Ratterman to lunch every year or so to pick his brain. He is the head guru on appraisals here in Indiana, and pretty much one of the national guys. But we gave him this assignment, and this is what he came back with. They're all 30 years worth, all the same. The prices don't change, okay? We're not talking about what it costs to do it, to make it, or build it, or add it in. What we're trying to determine is if we've got two houses, this is the subject, and this is a competitor. It's a listed house. And everything theoretically is identical, except our subject has a fireplace. And that's the comp, or if this was a comp, this is a comp, not a listing. This is a sold property. It is identical, except it doesn't have a fireplace, so we've got to give it a fireplace. Okay? If we're talking about extra square footage, how much do we give it on the extra square footage? Amy's going to show you here in a minute. We're going to take the totals of all the price per square foot, get an average of all the comparable prices per square foot, and then use a third of that for our average. Okay, so let's say it was 100 square feet, and we used $30, so we've got a $3,000 adjustment that we've got to give over here. Okay, we just have to keep making the comp like the subject. You never ever change the subject. Okay, that's what we're appraising. I don't care how long you do this, guarantee you will be stuck and say plus or minus. Do I give us a plus or minus? Just say to yourself, the subject never changes, I've got to change the comp. So if the comp has it, we have to take it off to make it like the subject. If the subject has it and the comp doesn't, we have to give it to the comp. So that's what we're doing all the way through this. Okay? Okay, let's look at some of these values. Basement, I told you 7 to 15, he's using 10 to 20. Okay? I don't care. Okay. $10 to $20 a foot on basement finish. One car versus no car, he uses 2,500 to 4,000. Two car, 3,000 to 4,000 per space. I try to just keep myself consistent. I use $4,000 a car. Okay. Brick versus aluminum or vinyl siding, $1 per square foot more for brick. That's square foot, not linear foot. Okay? So if these are 2,000 square foot houses, both of them, the subject is vinyl and the comp is brick, I'm gonna take off $2,000 to make it be vinyl. Okay? Now you can't brick them for $2,000 extra dollars. But theoretically, if that's the only difference, what would the buyer, how much will the buyer pay? Just for that difference. And statistics and history shows about $1 per square foot more. City utilities versus well and septic, $2,000. Central air conditioning to no air conditioning, $2,500. Fireplace, we've got wood burning on here. Used to be that was a big deal. years and years ago, some of you probably weren't even born, we had an energy crisis in the 70s. And everybody wanted a wood fireplace so they didn't have to spend so much money for their energy. And then everybody got a wood fireplace and realized you also had a pickup truck and a chainsaw. And the gas logs were comical looking. I mean, there were little ceramic sticks in them and they roared and everything. Well, now it's kind of, everybody wanted wood back then, now everybody wants gas. I don't make any distinction between either one as far as my pricing. All right, fireplace, $2,500. Window air conditioners, $0. If they got a window air conditioner in their window right now, get it out. It's going to hurt the showing of the property. If it's August and it's 100 degrees, let them go ahead and run it and try to keep that place cool while we show it. But they bring no value. Covered patio, these are hard to figure out because he uses $1,500 to $5,000 professionally done. Okay, what kind of covered patio are you talking about? Are you talking about a covered patio that has one of them aluminum awnings with two little poles out on the end of it? That's covered. Or are you talking about one that's brick halfway up, got screens, got skylights, got ceiling fans built right into the house? That's way different. So you got to try to get an eyeball on the comparable. If yours has a brick, really nice screened-in patio, you need to see if your comp has a screened-in patio. Try to see the pictures of, how elaborate is it? Is it in my ballpark, or am I in their ballpark as far as how you adjust for the screened-in patios? In-ground pool, $0 to $4,000, depending on the circumstances. You'll break some hearts with swimming pools. People pay $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 to put a pool in. Most appraisers won't get more than $4,000 for them. They shrink the pool of buyers. When you put a pool in the house, it shrinks the number of buyers that are looking, that would look at it.
I said you either want one or you don't.
Yeah, there's not much in between. The only time, swimming pools and there's some different items. But when everybody, like if you live in Arizona, you better have a swimming pool. I mean, you need to keep up, not just keep up with the neighborhood, but you need a swimming pool. So I'm sure it's valued much differently in places like that. You get into things, I make fun of Carmel all the time, so don't take it. But, had a guy in this class years ago, and he was trying to get me to buy into his thinking on the paver driveways. And the guy paid like, I don't know, $80,000 for this little driveway because it had pavers. Well, it does the same thing that gravel and concrete does. You drive on it, we leak oil on them, we play basketball on them. So would a buyer pay that much extra for that driveway versus the one down the street that had just a regular concrete driveway? Well, the only way the buyer might is if that's what everybody in the neighborhood had. Where I gotta keep up, I mean, I don't wanna be the only one not having it. That's the only, so you have to look at, and Mark Radimer talked to Amy and I all the time, who's the buyer? Who's gonna be the buyer to this house? What is valuable to that buyer? So you're always trying to put yourself into who's gonna be the buyer? How do I find them? How do we present this to attract those people? One full bath difference, $4,000, half bath, $2,000. Home is in excellent condition, $3,000 to $5,000. That house today wasn't in excellent condition. Needs carpet, needs paint, needs wallpaper ripped off of it. It needs a lot of updating. It seemed to be in pretty good condition, it's just a lot of updates. But that 3,000 to 5,000, you can definitely get that. If you've been showing houses or if you've been on tour, you can see the difference immediately. You walk into one that's clean, bright, shiny, smells good, that will bring $3,000 to $5,000 more than the exact same house down the street that is, the curtains all grown, dark, got an odor to it. How many people said that there was a grandma odor in this one when you walked in? So all of those things will definitely affect the value. So the bright, shiny ones will sell for more. You can add that in when you're doing all your different, well, he uses, the appraisers have got their own little code, C1, C2, C3, C4. I mean, you're just gonna have your own gut feeling about that, okay?
What do they consider as full bath and half bath? Is it still?
Shower.
Okay, is half bath?
Shower, no, shower, if it has a shower, sink, and a toilet, it is a full bath.
Okay.
Okay? If it doesn't have a shower or bath, it's a half bath. Okay? One of the really important factors to all of this is right here below. As the overall price of the home increases, so does the price of the individual adjustments. So when we're in that $500,000 or $800,000 house, these numbers need to be adjusted up. Okay? Now don't go crazy and
Double everything.
well, you know, if you're in an $800,000 house, you might be doubling all of these. When you're in a $200,000, $300,000 house, this is about the median, okay? But, and it works the other way, when it's lower, tighten these down some, okay? Some issues that will come up for you in regards to value. Has anybody ever had replacement windows put in their home? About how much they cost?
3,500.
For the whole house?
No, that's just for downstairs.
Just for downstairs?
And the kitchen.
And they told you that it increased the value of your home? Well, they usually do.
Yeah, they did increase the value of it, huh?
Not really.
Tell you what, they definitely increased the beauty of your home.
No, you're gonna run into sellers that said, I paid $15,000 to have new windows put in here.
The whole, yeah.
I want my $15,000. The buyer, when they come, fully expected it to have windows. That's not an add-on. Okay? They're not going to pay you $15,000 for the windows that you got. How you doing? Come on. If we're comparing these two homes, and now it's not a sale, but it's a listing we're competing against, and this one has the brand new windows, and this one has the windows like we were just in, the metal windows, do you think they'll pay $15,000? If everything else is equal, would they pay $15,000 more? No. Now, they might pay $1,000 or $2,000 more because that's got the really nice windows. But that's about as far as it'll go. What about a new roof? Add zero.
Zero.
Okay? It's not, I mean, they expected a roof. If you're competing with one down the street that has an older roof, this will sell faster because it's got the newer roof. As long as this one doesn't leak, there's not, in a buyer's mind, I'm not, roofs are $15,000, $20,000 to put a roof on. They're not gonna give you $15,000 or $20,000 for your new roof. They might pay you another $1,000 or $2,000, but not much more than that. So you really got, like I said, you've got to look at it from a buyer's perspective, not the sellers. The sellers spent that money. Now those windows, over time, they're supposed to save you on energy. Takes a long time to save $15,000 in energy, okay? And they look nicer, but what's the tipping point on how much a buyer will go? And it's usually never anywhere near. You can't build a bathroom for $4,000 either. And you can't put a fireplace into one for $2,500 either. So that's what we're trying to come up with, and that's what you have to get. That's where your talent and skills come into showing the seller and convincing the seller. Because the windows guys, they tell them that it increases the value. What it really does is it enhances the value. It makes it nicer, but they'll only pay so much, okay?